Carissa from the Community Library, and I'm here today to show you our final day 12 of our 12 days of Christmas. One of our crafts. I know Miss Vicki also has a day 12. So today we're going to do string art. So you're going to need a piece of wood. I've painted mine. You're going to need a basic stencil. I just printed this out from the computer. You're going to need nails. I am using wire nails, size 3/4 by 16. See if you can see that a little better. A little bit. And they're wire nails. I like these because they're not very big, but they do have a broader head, which is going to help catch our string. I've got some red yarn and some white yarn. I'm going to do the snowflake in white and my letters in red, and obviously so first things first is you're going to get your wood board prepped, whatever size you've decided to do. I've gone ahead and painted it, and then I brushed it with just a little bit of silver on the front to give it a little bit of a shine. And then I found a design that I really liked, and here, turn it so you can see. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put nails, and I'm going to do a line following each of these lines here, and then I'm just going to outline my letters. So I'm going to go ahead and start that, and then I'll be right back when I get all my nails in. So I've gone ahead and I've put all of my nails in. So you can see I've got it nicely outlined here, and then I've just followed the lines for the snowflake, and I've got another outline here. So we're going to go ahead and just peel the paper off. I highly recommend having a pair of tweezers for this part, just so that when there's little bits of extra paper attached, you can just get those little bits out with the pair of tweezers. So, all right, go ahead and take your paper off, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead, peeled my paper off. I'm going to go ahead and start with the snowflake. So I've got my white string here, and I'm just going to tie a little knot down here at the bottom of one of my lines, just to hold it. We'll trim that off later. Okay, and then we're just going to go and we're going to wrap around each nail, and I'm wrapping the same direction. And I'm going to wrap all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to wrap the opposite direction back down to the bottom. Again, you might want your tweezers just to push down so that it does wrap underneath the head of the nail. Okay, and as you can see now, I have a line. I'm going to go ahead and go from there back up to that middle one, and I'm going to get out my two little points on each, and then I'm going to go back to my center. And then I'm going to do every line just like that. So I wrap it. And you're just going to keep going and keep wrapping it going on either side until you have made the entire outline of your design. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've gone ahead and finished the snowflake. As you can see, I went on either side of the nail, so I wrapped it one direction going up and then wrapped it back. Now when I wrapped it up, I did go up to the top. I wrapped it back going down the other direction down to this one, and then I would go out and do the little spikes off each side, and then I would wrap the opposite direction that I had gone back down and then do the spikes on the same. That way you've got it going both ways. And I did put a tiny knot down at the end of my bottom so that it would stay nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other letters. I'm going into our J and our Y. We're going to do them in a nice red. So again, I'm going to take my string here and I'm going to just tie a little knot. Let's start with our J. Now this one, we're going to do a little different because we're not just going to follow some straight lines. So we're going to actually fill in our letters. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to wrap each one. Helps if I actually follow the outline of the letter. I'm going to go one direction, and I'm only going to go one direction to start with. And you'll see why at the end. Why at the end. Because we're going to do Y at the end. Okay, so I've got my letter outlined. Now I'm going to fill this in. And that's the other thing. You want to make sure you keep your string taut. You could do this. I'm using some yarn that we had here at the library. You could use embroidery thread. There's all sorts of stuff that you could use to do this with. Now I'm just, again, if you loosen it up, it'll come right off. Now if you see, I am just going randomly from nail to nail just to get my letter filled in. We want to be able to actually see that the letter shape filled in almost like a block letter. Okay, and once you've got it significantly filled in, I suggest going back over the outline, if you can. Now I do suggest if you have yarn, use a thinner yarn. Just so that it's not as likely to pop off if you've got a lot of string, especially for the letters gathered up under the nail heads. It's also nice to have the pair of tweezers so you can kind of push the yarn that you already have on the nail head down so that you've got a little more space. Now going back around the outline of the letter just makes it a little crisper, makes it a little easier to see. The outline of the letter after you've gone ahead and filled it in. Okay. So close. Okay, you can see we're filled in and there's a nice outline so you can really tell that it's a J. I'm going to go ahead and cut off my string and put a little knot just to keep it from going anywhere. And then I'm going to trim the tails off. We've got our J. So we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing with our Y. We're going to outline it just one direction first, and then we're going to fill it in, and then we're going to outline it again. And again, you're going to just make a little knot. Leave my tail decently long just so that you can see it later. And just start wrapping. Again, instead of like on the snowflake where we wrapped one direction and then immediately wrap the opposite direction, we're just going to wrap one direction to start with, and then helpful if I could get it around now, and then go back through. I should have gone down to my Y because it's a Y. Okay, so then we've got our outline here, and we're just going to fill that in. Again, going randomly back and forth. Between the nails, just to give it some nice coverage. Okay, and then once you can get back down to one of the points, you're going to start outlining your Y. Going the opposite direction of the first time you outlined it. Again, just to give it that nice crisp edge so that it's a little easier to see. I like to do the inside of the nails the first time around and then go on the outside of the nail on the last wrap, just to give it a little more definition because it's sitting on top of the nails. And there we have our Y. Again, I'm just going to wrap it one more time. I'm going to trim my string here, and then I'm going to put a little knot in it just to keep it nice and tight so that we're not going to lose any of our wraps. Oops. If I actually tie the knot around the nail. It's got to go around. There we go. All right, and then again, we're going to trim our ends off. And there we go. We've got a cute little string art sign, perfect for the holidays. I went with this because it could be used even after Christmas. If you stop by the library, chances are you will see this on my desk. So just a little bit of wood, a few nails, and some string, and it turns out super cute. So I'm glad you guys could all be with us. Again, don't forget, 12 days of Christmas, and I'll see you all later.